Think you need thousands of dollars to start a business? Think again. Plenty of profitable businesses have been built with just $500 or less, but only if you spend it the right way. That's exactly what Carl wants to know in today's Q&A Wednesday. Carl asks, Omar, I don't have a lot of money to start a business. If I only had $500, what's the smartest way to use it to build something profitable? With only $500, you can't afford to start something that requires inventory, a storefront, or major upfront costs. Instead, you need to focus on low-cost, high-margin businesses. Here are a few. First one, service-based businesses like freelancing, coaching, consulting, agency work. A service-based business requires no inventory, no upfront costs, just the skills you have and your time. Second option, digital products, courses, ebooks, templates, memberships. You can create them once, sell them infinitely, and they scale without any extra cost. Third option, affiliate marketing and content. Think starting a blog, a newsletter, YouTube channel, social media. Build an audience, recommend products, and earn commissions and sponsorships. When I first started, I didn't have a huge budget. I used my knowledge and my skills, and I offered a service, which brought in cash that I reinvested into my business. And that's what you need to do too. Don't focus on what you don't have, money. Focus on what you do have, time. So where do you spend the $500 for maximum impact? Here's exactly how I would spend a $500 budget to build something profitable. Feel free to grab a paper and pen and jot these down because we're going to go pretty fast, and feel free to pause and play as you see fit. Number one, a website and domain. This is going to cost around $50 to $100. You could buy a domain for $10 to $20 from GoDaddy. You can get hosting for your website, Adobe P Engine or SiteGround, for around $10 a month. And you can use WordPress, which is open source and free, and use a simple page builder like Elementor that works with WordPress, and Elementor has a free version, so you're good to go. Now, there will be a learning curve if you've never used WordPress or Elementor, but hey, again, you have time. You can watch a few YouTube videos, and within a day, you'll be a whiz. And with those tools, you can build your website. Number two, a business email. And I recommend using just Google Business Email or G Suite. It's $6 a month, and it allows you to have a professional looking email that uses your domain. So you're not using @gmail.com. You're using at your domain. So for example, your website is fitdads.com, then it would be carl@fitdads.com. This allows you to email people and get credibility fast. Number three, basic branding and design. In the beginning, you're not going to have a lot of money to spend on branding. You can invest later, but you just got to get started. This is going to cost between $50 to $100. Get a logo and a social media graphics kit so you can brand your social media platforms like Instagram and Facebook or wherever you're going to be. And you could do this for free, actually, with templates from Canva, canva.com, absolutely free. Or if you want to spend a little bit of money for your logo and some of your branding, you can hire somebody on fiverr.com. Four, marketing and sales. This is going to be around $250 to $300, so like half your budget, okay, because you need to get customers. Number one, you can spend $5 to $10 a day to attract leads using social media ads, Facebook, Instagram ads. You can do networking and cold outreach by personally emailing people and DMing them on social media. And you can create a lead magnet, a freebie, to build your email list. This is creating something of value, like a guide or a checklist that your audience would want to download in exchange for their name and email address so that you can continue to build a relationship with them. If you don't know how to build a lead magnet, no problem, got your back. We have templates to create lead magnets for you. You can just go to 100mba.net/templates to download that. When I first launched my business back in 2012, I didn't overcomplicate things. I built a simple site, I put together an irresistible offer, and started reaching out to potential customers directly. You don't need to be perfect at first. You just need that first sale. That's what makes you a business, money. Step three, get your first customers fast. If you don't have an audience, no problem. Here's how to hustle your first 10 customers. Tap into your personal network. You have friends, you have family members, you have ex-coworkers, somebody out there that you already know that is in your phone right now, that is in your contacts in your phone, that needs your skills, that needs your service. You can easily get your first customer if you put your pride aside, if you just reach out to the people you already know. Next, cold outreach. DM people on LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram. Offer some value first. A lot of people don't like doing this because they think that it doesn't work and who's going to answer me. It's a numbers game. The more people you reach out to, the more people that will respond. Next, go where your customers already are. Join niche Facebook groups, Reddit forums, online communities, and be somebody of value. Contribute. And then if you're somebody valuable, they're going to look you up. They're going to find your website, and then they'll take a look at your services. You may want to even consider offering a first customer discount. Lower the barrier of entry just to get some traction, get a win. Let me give you an example of how I put this into action. When I started this podcast, the $100 MBA Show, I had zero audience. I had nobody that knew me, but I went to a conference, I grabbed people's emails, and I spoke to a lot of people that had podcasts already. So I emailed 30 podcast hosts, I should say, and asked them, can I be a guest on their show? Because I had no audience and I knew I was going to launch my podcast and I want people to check out my podcast if I do well on their podcast. You know, they're already on a podcast or they're on the podcast player, so it's easy for them to move from one podcast to another. 5 podcasters said yes. So I got into 5 podcasts out of the 30 I reached out to. I gave incredible value as a guest on that podcast, and that's how I got my first bunch of listeners to subscribe to my podcast. Those first 5 appearances on other podcasts allowed me to get 10 more podcast appearances. That's how momentum starts. That's how it works. You don't need thousands of yeses. You just need the right few to say yes. Step 4, reinvest and scale the smart way. Once you start making money, don't waste it. Don't do what other rookie entrepreneurs do, where as soon as they start making some sales and some profits, they just start spending it on themselves. Turn those profits into bigger profits. Your first profits should go into more marketing like ads, outreach, referrals, automation tools like email software like Kit.com or Zapier. Invest in better branding and website improvements like we talked about earlier. Hiring help, getting a VA to do some admin work and free up 5, 10, 15 hours of your week. The goal is to create a business that doesn't just make money today, but keeps growing profitably. The fastest way to grow a business, reinvest your profits wisely. Carl, I hope that answers your question. You don't need a huge budget to start a business. $500 is more than enough, in fact, if you choose the right business model. If you spend your budget on what really matters, like we discussed, and get your first customers by hustling, not waiting. Get to work. Start talking to people. Because if you can't talk about what you offer and what you serve and what you can contribute to the world, then it's going to be very hard for you to sell your products and services. It's just that simple. If you do these things, you can build a profitable business from scratch starting today. Thanks so much for listening to the $100 MBA Show. If you want more from me, if you want to keep on learning, join my 3 Things newsletter. Every week, I send you 3 things. 1, something to think about, something to shift your mindset. Number 2, something to do, an actionable step to grow your business. And number 3, something to learn, a valuable resource to keep you ahead. It's absolutely free, and it's my way to coach you from afar. Just go to 100mba.net and sign up for one of our free guides, and you'll automatically be added to the newsletter. If this episode helped you in any way, the best way to say thank you is to subscribe and share it with someone who needs to hear this. I'm Omar Zenhom, and I'm here to remind you that if you take action every single day, you are moving closer and closer to your goal, to becoming successful as an entrepreneur. If you don't take action every day, you're just delaying success. And the thing about delaying is that we don't have infinite time, right? Every day that goes by is another missed opportunity, another day not being successful. So let's capitalize on that momentum. Let's keep building every day, and I'll see you in the next episode.